Hi and welcome to L's OCPH Circus time-lapse video where he explains his thought process. I wrote a song for an intro. I hope you like it. Here it goes. It's L's time-lapse show. Woo! That's it. That's all I have. I'm still working on it, That's like with my guitar. That's the only note I really know how to play. That's a G note. I don't even know if it sounds good. Probably not. I'm not really good. I'm not good at strumming yet. I'm sort of just learning the notes. Anyways, welcome. Today we're doing a circus character. What was that intro? It's currently 2 a.m. Welcome. For my character, I wanted to do a child character. I've been really into doing younger characters. I like characters who are in their 30s with a bit of life experience. But right now I'm kind of in a naive kind of thing, I like exploring naive characters at the moment, and I feel like she's very naive with how young she is and blah 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 blah. Anyways, something that I kind of wanted to hit up on today is what a character means, and especially what a character means before and after having actually made him. A lot of people come to me or just have a general talk with me about how they really, really want to design characters, make stories, draw, animate, whatever, but they just don't know how to add meaning to it, or they really, really want to make this meaningful thing where it's like really like 15,000 layers deep and everything that they do have a meaning. And what usually happens is that they just can't figure out how to do it. And that's because I would say about like 60% of everything I make, the meaning comes afterwards. Usually by people pointing at stuff and then me just improvising and on the spot usually, and being like trying to explain what that means. An example was actually earlier today. Our good friend Missy from, you all know her from Entry Crew, beautiful Missy, she said that she really liked the fact that there's 4 out of everything here, 4 fingers, 4 frills, 4 animals. And me being me, I've made a really meaningless explanation of what it means. Let me actually find it for you. And it kind of, for this, like, supposed to show that it really makes no sense, So here is my explanation of why I had 4 of everything. I repeatedly used the number 4 in my design to really emphasize the symbolism of said number. 4 is known to be a very stable number and represents a stable foundation. Therefore, my character is a sane and intellectual individual. 4 also represents the 4 elements, the 4 directions north, west, south, east, 4 seasons, 4 moon phases. It also breaks away from the typical golden 3 rule in design and writing, where something often happens either 3, 5, or 7 times. This is often done in Christian texts, and I did this to provoke and distance myself from Christian beliefs. And in reality, I just googled the number 4 meaning, and I just went on a bunch of websites and I took some notes. I had nothing in mind when I made everything be the number 4, but after some research, I was like, oh, this is cool, let me just add this. The difference between a seasoned character designer and a newbie is that they usually already know some meanings and cultural norms and all that, so they can already apply it to the character and they already know what the character will be like. But I highly recommend to just doodle something, just make something completely random, then Google those little things and figure out what they mean. And if you like them, keep them. If not, just change them. This is the beauty of character design, is that you get to design them, or you get to redesign them as many times until you find out what works for you. And that's usually how my whole character design process goes, is that I just start with something really, really basic, and then I just add meaning to it on later. And this is how most artists and people who make stuff do. Just ask anyone who makes a movie, is that they usually have something very, very vague in mind, and then they can add meaning once everything is kind of made, maybe like 50% made, and then they kind of like splash everything that needs to be together. Of course, there are people who actually spend like maybe like 70 hours to actually just add meaning before they do anything, and I wish I was that type of person, but I'm honestly not. But yeah, not being able to add meaning to something before you actually made it can be really daunting. And it's definitely something I have also had problems with pretty recently. I am trying to currently write a manuscript for a comic, and every now and then I do get stuck being like, I need meaning to this. This is so basic. You know, I feel like I'm just writing the most generic thing ever, but what you have to keep in mind is that for you it's very, very generic what you made, because you have been there throughout the whole process. You know exactly what is, supposed to be. You've seen all the flaws, you've seen all the goods. Meanwhile, a person who sees this for the first time and tries to consume it for the first time, they know nothing about it. They don't know the intention of the characters, where the plot is going. Maybe they can predict it, if you go for, something very predictable, which is I'm going for something very predictable and all that. But yeah, just because you, the creator, doesn't really like it that much, doesn't mean that it's gonna completely flop. So, my highest advice for when you start making a character, just doodle something. Make something stupid. If it is stupid and you have a good laugh, great. Now you have an emotion and you can build it out. Maybe you really want a stupid character, Anyways, let me talk a tiny bit about this exact character. I wanted to have a clown character because we were doing a circus. And I had our good friend Yuki in mind. She's a wonderful woman who absolutely loved the circus, I thought. And absolutely loves clown especially, so I was going to make a clown character. I'm not usually the type of person who goes for very vibrant clown-like colors. I decided to go for something more earthy, a bit Spanish-inspired with the colors and all that. And that's really it. I really like the sleeves, but I think what I actually wanted was them to be more like a lot of fabric folded up, while in reality they ended up just looking like tubes of fabric, It kind of looks like hula hoop skirts, where you have a hula hoop at the end of the skirt and it kind of like just stays as a circle. I feel like that's kind of what it looks like right there, or just like a cone. But whenever I'm actually doing the OCPH hour, all I'm thinking of is speed, get everything done as fast as possible, and then just polish it afterwards. Because, let's be honest, an hour is not a lot to do a character, and you can see that I do what some people might consider cheating, but let's be honest, you're only cheating yourself if you think there's a way of cheating in art. I copied the bunnies and also the poodles that we will be seeing later on. And, it's all about saving time. It's not about working hard, it's about working fast or smart. Well, yeah, I'm working fast and smart here, I think. I usually don't actually copy the color layer, because for some reason, I think it's because of my line work, because it's so messy, I can never get it to match up again. So, I'm just wasting time trying to make it match up. So, why bother? As you can see, I'm trying out different colors there. Always try to find something that you like. Don't just stop at the first option you have, just try it out. Yeah, I'm adding a ton of different colors there. I'm trying to make it look very rich, a bit vibrant, with the kind of muted color we have right here, and all that. If I could go back now and work more on it, I would definitely have fixed her position of her feet. You can see they are kind of matching the bunny's feet, and it just makes it look like either she's floating on air or they are right inside her shoe. So that's something I would fix if I had maybe 20 more minutes or so. I'm just, this is actually the first time I didn't use, at least I think so. No, wait, no, I didn't use a post reference for my royalty one either, so that's completely fine. I didn't use a post because I felt a bit confident, because I already had post in mind, and because I knew I was going to do a bit of a cartoony style comparison to what I've done in the past. Not too cartoony, but I knew that I could easily do it myself. And you could see that in the beginning I was struggling a bit, because I'm actually not that good at poses. I really, really like drawing people sitting down right now, so I'm most used to drawing people sitting. So So sometimes I have a really hard time drawing people standing. And you know, I feel like for me that's kind of like same face, but with poses. I feel like that happens to a lot of artists, that they end up also doing same poses as same faces, and I feel like those are kind of more allowed than same faces, I guess, you know, because you can't really you can replicate a ton of poses to get a ton of different emotions and all that anyways. But that's something I want to improve on, so I think in the next OC Panic hours that we record, I'm definitely going to try to make people just stand more instead of sitting. Yeah, I think my main problem is just that I don't get the legs right. The legs always turn out too big. That's my main problem. And also the torso might be a bit too short. That's usually my struggles when I do art. Also, I don't know how to draw dogs, as you can clearly see. I don't really draw animals. I'm not really into them. I have been drawing lately. I have like a cartoony way of drawing animals. I actually did a commission where I drew an animal, and I think it really shows that I do not really know how to draw them, because I felt like that dog was very stiff. And you can see here, it's still looking a bit awkward. It is getting better, but you know. I should have definitely tried to find a reference of a dog doing that pose instead of just having a generic like standing around dog. But sometimes it's just hard to find a reference you need, and that's why it is good to have a visual library of just trying to draw everything you see, because once you've drawn them, it will be easier to try and move them around in your head. So, you know, just draw everything you see, really. You know, but I think I am pretty happy with how the character turned out. I definitely got the point across. I think whenever I try to draw clown characters, I've tried to draw a few clown characters in the past now, I always end up muting the colors. I think it's one thing to like fit my style, but it's also just because I don't really feel comfortable drawing super vibrant colors, because that kind of goes against my you know, I think, let's be honest, it's mostly just habits, but it's also just like I just don't think that vibrant colors look that good with my style, because of the line art is so messy, so I feel like it would just be too much loudness, if that makes sense. And yeah, I've also been trying to make more sceneries around the character, and instead of just doing one character, because the design of them are pretty simple, because I only have 1 hour to do them. As you can see, I don't think you could really tell that she was a performer in a circus without the animals, and especially the background that I'm going to add. And that's mostly just because, you know, I could probably, I don't know, I think it's because I don't really find certain clown costumes to be that appealing to me, so I try to find something that fits me, and, you know, that's completely fine, but sometimes it can bite you in the foot if you try to wander too far away from the theme that has to be shown. You know, you can't draw an apple if someone wants you to draw a dog, right? But I also kind of wanted to focus on more animal-friendly circuses, because especially in the past, there has been a lot of animal abuse and people abuse in the circuses throughout history. So I kind of wanted to focus on what I've kind of grown up with. I kind of grew up right in the era of animals in, like, exotic animals in circuses not being okay anymore. I think it really started in the 90s, at least here in Norway, and now it's really been focused on. So yeah, I wanted to kind of have a bit more of I guess family-friendly way of having a circus be, you know, a more modern circus. That's really all I had in it. Even though I really love elephants, and I would love to draw an elephant. But yeah, there I signed my name, and that's really all I have to show you. I think we discussed a lot of stuff here. That's it. I guess we can end it on a tune. Let me just find my guitar. This has been Al explains his drawing for OC Panic Hour. I'll stop on a G like I started, do a nice circle composition. Thank you guys so much for watching. That was really bad. Bye.